Have you ever heard of a hero who defeated a dragon not with a sword, but with a sheep? No, I'm not kidding. This isn't your typical knight in shining armor story. Stick around to discover how a clever shoemaker outsmarted one of Europe's most fearsome beasts. Welcome back to timeless Europe, where every castle has a secret and every town has a tale. Today, we journey to the beautiful city of Krakow in Poland, to the foot of the magnificent Wawel Castle, which overlooks the Wisła River. For centuries, this has been a place of kings and queens, a symbol of Polish national pride. But long, long ago, beneath this very hill, in a dark and smoky cave, lived something terrifying. Our story begins in the mythical past, during the reign of the city's founder, King Krak. Life in Krakow was peaceful and prosperous, but a shadow fell over the land. A monstrous dragon, known as Smoku Wawelskim, had made its lair in a cave under Wawel Hill. This wasn't just any dragon. It had shimmering green scales, razor-sharp claws, and a temper as fiery as the breath it spewed from its jaws. The Wawel dragon was a menace. Every day, it would lumber out of its cave, its thunderous roar echoing through the streets, striking fear into the hearts of everyone. It terrorized the people of Krakow, devouring their livestock, sheep, cows, you name it. Its hunger was insatiable. But what was worse, the dragon developed a taste for something far more precious. It began demanding a tribute of the town's young women. The city was gripped by terror and despair. The laughter of children was replaced by a heavy silence, and the once vibrant markets grew quiet. King Krak was heartbroken, watching his people suffer under the dragon's tyranny. Something had to be done. So, the king sent his bravest knights, warriors renowned across the land for their strength and courage. Clad in glistening armor and armed with the finest swords and lances, they marched to the dragon's den one by one, vowing to end its reign of terror. But the beast was too powerful. It met each knight with a blast of scorching fire that melted their shields and armor. Swords shattered against its tough, scaly hide. Many brave men went to face the dragon, but none returned. The pile of bones outside the cave grew, and hope in Krakow began to fade. The king's own sons, Lech and Krak II, even tried to defeat the beast, but they too failed, and their story ends in a tragic dispute. The kingdom was on the brink of collapse. Desperate, King Krak made a grand proclamation that echoed throughout his kingdom and beyond. He promised his beautiful daughter, Princess Wanda, in marriage to any man who could defeat the dragon. And not just that, the victor would also receive half the kingdom. This was a prize beyond imagination. Soon, valiant princes and ambitious knights from far-off lands arrived in Krakow, all eager to claim the reward. They tried everything: magic spells, intricate traps, and sheer brute force. But the dragon remained undefeated, growing more arrogant and destructive with each failed attempt. The people of Krakow watched as hero after hero fell, and their last glimmer of hope began to die. It seemed no one was strong or brave enough to slay the beast. Just when all seemed lost, an unlikely hero emerged. He wasn't a knight in shining armor or a prince from a distant land. He was a humble, young shoemaker's apprentice named Skuba. Skuba was clever and observant. He didn't have the brawn of the warriors who had perished, but he had something far more valuable: a sharp mind. He had watched the failed attempts and noticed the dragon's two biggest weaknesses: its greed and its insatiable appetite. While others relied on force, Skuba believed the key to victory was wit. He approached King Krakus with a plan so simple, yet so audacious, that the king, having exhausted all other options, decided to give the young man a chance. What did he have to lose? Here's where the story gets really interesting. Skuba didn't ask for a sword or armor. Instead, he asked the king for a sheepskin, a load of sulfur, and some tar. The court was puzzled. What could a shoemaker possibly do with these materials? Skuba worked through the night. He took the sheepskin and stuffed it to the brim with the foul-smelling powdered sulfur and sticky tar. Then, with his masterful shoemaker's skill, he sewed it up so perfectly that it looked just like a plump, juicy sheep ready for a feast. In the dead of night, when the dragon was asleep, Skuba crept to the entrance of the cave and left his special delivery right where the beast would see it upon waking. Then, he scurried away to a safe distance and watched, his heart pounding in his chest. As dawn broke, the Wawel dragon awoke, hungry as always. It stomped out of its cave and immediately spotted the sheep lying right at its doorstep. Without a second thought, the greedy creature devoured the entire thing in one giant gulp. At first, nothing happened. But then, the sulfur inside the sheep began to burn and react in the dragon's stomach. An unquenchable fire ignited within its belly, 1,000 times hotter than its own fiery breath. The dragon roared in agony, a sound of pure torment that shook the very foundations of Wawel Hill. It felt an incredible, burning thirst. Desperate to douse the internal flames, the dragon thundered down to the Vistula River. It began to drink and drink and drink. It drank so much water that the river level visibly dropped. The people of Krakow watched in stunned silence from the city walls. But no amount of water could extinguish the chemical fire raging inside it. The dragon's belly swelled and swelled, growing larger and larger like a monstrous balloon, until finally, boom, the dragon exploded with a thunderous bang that was heard for miles. The threat was over. The great Wawel dragon was no more. A deafening cheer erupted from the city walls. The people of Krakow poured into the streets, singing and celebrating. Their nightmare was finally over. The humble shoemaker's apprentice had succeeded where the strongest warriors had failed. He had saved the city not with muscle, but with his mind. True to his word, King Krakus held a massive feast in Skuba's honor. He was hailed as a hero, and as promised, Skuba married the beautiful Princess Wanda and, according to some versions of the legend, went on to rule wisely and peacefully by her side. His cleverness and courage were celebrated for generations. So what can we learn from the legend of the Wawel dragon? It's a timeless reminder that brains often triumph over brawn. True courage isn't just about physical strength. It's about ingenuity, quick thinking, and daring to approach a problem from a different angle. The legacy of Skuba and his dragon lives on today. If you visit Wawel Castle in Krakow, you can see a statue of the dragon near the river, which even breathes fire for tourists. You can also visit the dragon's den, the actual cave where the beast supposedly lived. The legend is a cherished part of Polish culture, a story of how a common person with a clever idea can become the greatest of heroes. Thank you for joining us on this journey to legendary Poland. What's your favorite story of an unlikely hero? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more timeless tales from across Europe. See you next time.